Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now the end of May of 2021. Now, one big project that a lot of Star Wars fans are looking forward to is, of course, the Kenobi series by Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. They are both going to be reprising their roles as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker and more. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Also, make sure to check me out at Mike01 on Twitter. Now, looking ahead to the future, we do know that both Disney and Lucasfilm have over a dozen Star Wars projects currently in the works. Some of them are yet to be announced that will be announced later this year around the November to December timeframe, so looking forward to that as well. That's going to be a big deal for the overall Star Wars fandom. Now, a lot of fans have been very much driven away from Star Wars after the sequel trilogy's end. Ever since The Rise of Skywalker hit theaters, a lot of fans just put their arms up and said, I'm done with this, and walked away from the entire Star Wars brand itself. A lot of people were canceling everything related to, of course, you know, their merchandise and selling their comics and their books and their novels. Just this past couple of months, back in February when Gina Carano was fired, a lot of people actually canceled their memberships for Disney+. So we've seen a very big shift in the Star Wars fandom, and that's exactly what John and Dave are trying to save and change when it comes to everything related to Star Wars. They want to make it just as successful as the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So with that being said, of course, what's really exciting all has to do with what Jon Favreau influenced Lucasfilm to do, alright? What he actually encouraged Lucasfilm to do with a particular character, and that specific character is, of course, Rey, also known as Rey Skywalker at the very end of Episode 9. So, with that being said, of course, what's really intriguing is that with both Favreau and Filoni very involved with shows like the Ahsoka and Book of Boba Fett series, they are also working day in and day out on The Mandalorian Season 3, back to back, with Season 4, of course. It's described that just recently Lucasfilm made a drastic change to a major character under Jon Favreau's request that is going to be made canon by this fall around November. It's best described that Favreau recently got Lucasfilm to restart the character of Rey Skywalker and exactly why she gains the Skywalker name at the very end of Episode 9. It's described that Lucasfilm recently just placed in this new canon piece that is described to involve Ben Solo's spirit to become one with Rey at the very end of Episode 9 that is described to give her the spirit of the Skywalker bloodline. This major change is also set to actually take place in a story in which Rey is set to have twins in upcoming canon material, as well as the planned Rise of Skywalker sequel series for Disney Plus that's going to be announced this fall. This major plan by Favreau is made in an attempt to fix aspects of Rey Skywalker and why she uses the name at the end of the film, and that this is going to actually be a major canon reveal this November. Dave Filoni is said to also be involved with this process that will allow Rey to gain the knowledge she needs to build a brand new Jedi temple on Tatooine that will be explored in new stories coming in 2022 and for the Rise of Skywalker sequel series, which will come in animated form in a lifelike fashion. Favreau is also set to give Rey a double-bladed yellow saber in the canon content to create a parallel to her staff used in the sequel trilogy films by JJ and Ryan. This attempt by Jon Favreau is to also continue the Skywalker bloodline in a more legitimate way, with Rey's twins that will be unveiled also in 2022 as far as what they appear like and exactly who they're going to actually be involved with. So here's the thing about Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni is that they are very much engaged with making things happen for Star Wars. What they want to do is that they really want to make Star Wars where it's going to be placed more so in the vision by George Lucas. Now, as we've discussed a couple of weeks ago, that this November is going to be a big month for Star Wars. That's when a large portion of the new shows are going to be announced. We're going to be learning more about the reformed version of Rangers of the New Republic. It's one of the main reasons as to why that show is no longer in active development. If you just take a pause here for a second and think, why would they do that? Well, that was all related to Gina Carano's firing. They have to actually restructure the overall Rangers TV show and create it into something new. So we're going to be learning more about that in November as well. I want to focus on this restarting aspect of Rey Skywalker and why some people may or may not like this. Now, number one, I can understand why some people would not like the overall structure of Ben Solo's spirit becoming one with Rey, and how that kind of contributes to her having twins in a sense. It does sound a little odd to me. We've talked about this lightly before in the past, of how Jon Favreau was dropping breadcrumbs and trying to really create this slowly, and now it's actually being put into full force with the actual content, the canon material, if you will. It's going to be unveiled this fall into 2022, and exactly how it's going to interconnect with other stories is really going to be a big deal. Now, the other thing is this, the Rise of Skywalker sequel series. Alright, that's going to be announced this November. It's going to be a full-fledged animated TV show. Not quite sure if it's going to be a limited series or an ongoing show. That is the biggest mystery as of right now. However, in that actual show, they're going to explore more to do with Rey's children. They want to expand the actual Skywalker lineage. That's another thing that I believe some fans may not like, is how the Skywalker's lineage is going to continue through the character of Rey, which a lot of people do not like. And I myself included felt like Rey was a character that had a great beginning in The Force Awakens and had so much potential, wasn't really used all that well in The Last Jedi, and in The Rise of Skywalker, you really can see how JJ tried to fix aspects of her by making her a Palpatine and using that as a way to justify why she's so powerful, you know, with that raw power in a sense, and by also kind of lending something to the fans by making her a Skywalker at the end of the film, just by herself calling her that. It didn't work with a lot of fans, unfortunately, it just didn't. And that's exactly why Jon Favreau is actually restarting that overall perception of why Rey calls herself a Skywalker at the very end of Episode 9. Again, this is going to be fully unveiled this November into 2022. It's going to be quite interesting to see how this all really plays out, and how the fandom's going to react to once it makes it public, of course, by Disney and Lucasfilm. So that's the biggest deal right now. I think that a lot of fans are very much on edge, whether or not John and Dave are going to pull things off. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.